Welcome to another episode of Book Nook. Thanks for joining me today, and this is a tough one. Because it's very relatable, and if you are, I don't know, this book is kind of hard to talk about. It is, but it's like so important to talk about too. So sometimes books can be that opening. They can be that conversation starter. Did this ever happen to you? Or what did you do when this did happen to you? Or in my case, I haven't really thought about it since I was in, maybe 7th grade. When something is hard to talk about, it's good to lean into it and figure out what it is that's pushing your buttons. So welcome to Book Nook. Let's get bookish with Maybe He Just Likes You by Barbara D. And I think you'll agree that this book is exceptional and tackles a tough topic with realistic and relatable situations and solutions. In this story, you'll meet 7th grader Mila, who is dealing with sexual harassment organized and perpetrated by several boys in her school. It starts out with some boys giving her an unwanted hug on the school blacktop out at recess. A few days later, at recess, one of the boys and fellow trumpet player Callum tells Mia it's his birthday and asks her for a birthday hug. He's just being friendly, isn't he? And how can she say no? It's his birthday. But Callum's hug lasts a few seconds too long and feels weird. According to her friend Zara, Mila is being immature and overreacting. He's just flirting. But the boys don't leave Mila alone. And on the bus, in the halls, and even during band practice, which is the one place that Mila could always escape. She thinks it doesn't feel like flirting, so what is it? Harassment. It's a really great family read as well, because there's a lot to unpack and there's a lot to discuss. Thanks to free classes at the exercise place called E-Motions, I love that, Mila, her mom, and her sister take these classes, and Mila begins to find relief in karate class. Here's the thing though, Mila is angry and no one is taking her seriously, including her friends, and especially her friends, and she doesn't want to add more to her mom's worries. So she doesn't talk to anyone, and when she tries to talk to the school counselor, she ends up with the male counselor, and this is not anything she wants to discuss with him. He does not help her, and frankly minimizes what she's telling him. Even though I grew up in the Jurassic period, I think a lot about how my counselor handled it and how I didn't really know how to verbalize what was happening. And I didn't understand because people I really trusted said boys don't always know how to communicate, how they're feeling about somebody. So maybe he just likes you. Therefore, that's why he's teasing you and harassing you like this. But that's sort of the beauty of this book. It starts off completely, mostly innocently, with Mila feeling a little uncomfortable in a situation. The sort of situation that you could reasonably see people brushing off, including Mila herself. But then things start to spiral. And that little shoulder squeeze turns into an unwanted hug, which turns into brushing up against her. And then the boys start making comments. And soon Mila realizes that many of the boys are in on some kind of a game that they think is funny, but is not funny to her. This novel addresses consent and guilt and blame and shame and peer pressure and the #MeToo movement, and it will spark conversations about when to speak up and where you draw the line. The first-person narration makes her experiences immediate and her emotions and frustrations crystal clear. Who ends the behavior? Well, truthfully, it's not up to the girls to end this. It's up to the boys and those out there raising them and teaching them to learn how to not do these things in the first place. This is such an important and well-written story, and I hope you all read it. It will find many readers who will relate to both sides of this experience. The book will help us all, every single one of us, talk about these hard topics like sexual harassment. Get bookish with Maybe He Just Likes You, and start the discussion. And thanks for joining me on another episode of Book Nook. I really appreciate you being here. Liking and subscribing motivates me to do more. Another thing, this is a really great book for the #bad behavior that 8th graders are doing. And I have 2 copies in the library. So if you don't see one on the shelf, get it on hold immediately. I guarantee that it will get you thinking.